Welcome to Loch Aerie Mansion. Come on in.
My name is Dana Poirier. My husband Stephen and I are the owners and operators of Loch Aerie Mansion.
And I'm AJ DiAntonio, Loch Aerie Mansion's historian.
AJ, what is the significance of Loch Aerie Mansion and why was it built here?
Loch Aerie Mansion was built for Philadelphia inventor and industrialist William E. Lockwood and his first wife, Louisa Bush. William purchased a 212-acre tract of land in 1863 from his stepfather, Elon Dunbar, which consisted of tenant farms and houses, spring-fed reservoirs, woodlands, and quarries. Over the course of a few years, he purchased several other properties, ultimately amassing a 684-acre lot at its largest.
What was this area called at the time?
This area of East Whiteland Township was known in those days as Steamboat Springs. It was originally part of the Welsh tract of land from the William Penn Land Grant. Very little existed around here at the time. There was the Steamboat Tavern and Inn, which was about half a mile north of here. The Thomas Norris House, which was built in 1825 across the street. The John Norris Barn, which was a stone bank barn that housed their carriage building business. And a blacksmith, which the ruins of which are just on the western edge of this property. There were other farms, a small church, and a few other dwellings at the time, including the homestead, the original homestead of this property, which consisted of a homestead farmhouse and a carriage barn. The homestead was demolished in order to build Loch Aerie, and the carriage barn was moved to a different spot on the property. The Washington Baker House and store across the street were completed in 1874, 6 years after the completion of Loch Aerie, and ultimately this village was renamed Glenloch.
Wasn't the original name of the mansion Glenloch?
Yes, originally William E. Lockwood had named this property Glenloch, meaning Lake of the Glen, which had a little bit to do with the ornamental lake out behind the mansion that was used for recreational boating. When the Pennsylvania Railroad in the 1860s and 70s expanded out in this direction, they built a small station on the property and named it Glenloch after the estate. William was furious and renamed his estate Loch Aerie, Lake of the Eagle's Nest.
Can you tell me about who designed Loch Aerie?
The mansion was designed by famed Philadelphia architect Addison Hutton, the firm Sloan and Hutton. Hutton was from Westmoreland County, out near Pittsburgh, and he moved to Philadelphia in 1857 to study under Stengel Sloan. Over the years, they became partners and designed several famous buildings in the area. Institutional buildings such as the Westchester Normal School, Swarthmore College, Haverford College, Lehigh University. They built for the Pennsylvania Historical Society in Philadelphia and the Bucks County Prison, which is now the James A. Michener Art Museum. According to Hutton's granddaughter, of all of his independent commissions, Loch Aerie was one of his favorite.
What design features make Loch Aerie stand out among other buildings of that era?
Loch Aerie is an architectural dream. It's built of Pennsylvania marble and blue limestone, quarried right here on the property, and meticulously shaped and fitted by master stonemason William Stevenson and his crew. It was stacked and fitted in a rubble pattern with cut corners and cut arches over the windows. The mansion is a large asymmetrical villa with a mixture of Italian and Gothic Revival elements, which evoke a romantic image of a medieval alpine castle. Steeply pitched gable roofs are broken by corbelled chimneys and by cross gables and dormers ornamented with decorative timberwork and finials. The gabled peaks are supported by bracketed cornices, which against the stone appear to drip like icing on a gingerbread house. The porches featured chamfered posts with ornate moldings, spandrel brackets, and tracery railing. The tower with 2 corbelled balconies, a belt course, and soars to nearly 70 feet tall to complete the masterful design of Lockwood's summer cottage.
Can you tell me about some of the home's interior features that still remain today?
As you walk through the main doors into the entry hall, you are transported back in time to 1865. The hall is crowned by an ornate trim of ivy made of molded plaster, and the ceiling medallions are also original. You pass under an arch supported by massive plaster corbels, and the arch is keystoned by two majestic eagles. The three-story freestanding grand staircase is made entirely of walnut, with layered massed handrails and carved balustrades. All of the main rooms have fireplaces made of either painted slate or Carrara marble. Etched into the floors surrounding each room are grooves that once contained the wire for the home's original security system, which, if tripped, sent a low-voltage signal to a security desk at the Glenlock train station, and the dogs would be brought to search for intruders.
Is it true that the house was built with running water and bathrooms as part of the original design?
Yes. Lockwood had the builders install a 900-gallon wooden holding tank on the third level of the mansion's tower. The tank was pressure-fed through 17,000 feet of pipe laid underground from two small ponds up on the higher side of the property. And those allowed as much as 12,000 gallons of water to be pumped through the house in 24 hours. Not only that, it also kept a large ornamental pond circulating and filled with constant fresh water.
How long did the Lockwood family live at Loch Aerie?
Loch Aerie was the dream estate of William Lockwood and his first wife, Louisa, and designed to spend summers there on retreat with their daughter, Elizabeth. Louisa died in 1868, just months before the completion of the mansion, and William, heartbroken over the loss, turned most of his attention to his business dealings in New York City. The mansion was rented for a time to gentlemen farmers and was used as a boarding house for travelers on the way to the Philadelphia Expedition World's Fair in 1876. William remarried in 1874 to Ella Eby. 4 years later, they moved their family, their three new children, to Loch Aerie as their primary residence to raise Billy, Edith, and Daisy in the mansion. The youngest daughters, known among the community as Miss Edith and Miss Daisy, lived in Loch Aerie until their deaths, both in 1967. Having no familial descendants, Loch Aerie Mansion and all the contents were sold at auction.